Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, May 21st. If you are watching live, hopefully you are. If not, you're watching the replay here on Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you're watching. Welcome. My name is Lori Bradley, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Louis, Missouri. And I am excited today to show you the 3 of the cards that we made at my card club this month. So if you missed out, I'm so sorry, but be sure to sign up for the next one, because the next month we are going to use the Seaside Wishes bundle, which is an embossing folder that cuts and embosses. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's get started. Let me look at my stuff here. I'm going to show you, first of all, there's 3 of the cards. We did make another one that I can show you in a minute. We're not going to make that one because it's a little more complicated. But I did want to take a minute and show you the designer series paper that goes with this bundle. All of my card club members, excuse me, got a full package of the Adventurous Sky designer series paper. Here we go, the United States. So there's a smoky slate map. I can't figure out where the shadow is coming from on my thing. There is this piece of designer series paper, which you can cut and use the tags however you would like. There's a nice navy backgroundy type piece. I like that a lot. That could be very, very versatile. A green map, a mossy meadow map. Let's see. I think the problem might be the placement of my camera. Let's see if that's better. Oh, that's the same piece. How did I do that? All right. Copper clay plaid, along with a smoky slate background with navy airplanes, which are super fun. Also a great background piece. And there's that piece again. Thought I had them all, but apparently I missed one. And then kind of a mechanic sort of look, like the metal on the side of an airplane, and a mossy meadow airplane background. All right, let's get started. I have three cards for you today, 2 of which I got from other demonstrators, and I want to give credit to them where credit is due, because we always appreciate when a demonstrator shares their projects. The first one that I'm going to do is I did change a little bit from a demonstrator named Jamie Barbasy at Stampin' Up! With Jamie. I did borrow that from her, and I so appreciate that. So for this one, we're going to start with a copper clay card base. I have a little bit of this I did ahead of time because you don't have to see me glue onto these little postage stamps. So we have the copper clay card base. So it's just an 8.5 by 5.5 card base. And then I have a white inside for that card, and I'm going to stamp just the small airplane that matches the front. I'm going to stamp that right on the inside. Oop, everything's moving today. Out of control. All right. And I'm just going to stamp that in the corner. Just add a little bit of interest to the inside panel. And while I have my ink pad out, I have cut 6 postage stamp squares from the perennial postage dies, and in copper clay I'm going to stamp Happy Father's Day. I'm going to do that before I put my ink pad away, so I can put it away so it's not too messy. All right, my stamps were cut a little funny when the company made them. The die that cuts around the stamp, not sure if you can see how much extra space there is at the top. That doesn't cause a problem. You just have to know to scoot it down or up just a little bit depending on how your stamp is cut. So if I had noticed before I put the sticker on, because the sticker, the happiest, goes all the way to the top, I would have moved the sticker down and cut that off, but I didn't notice, so I just have to make a mental note to move that around a little bit. Okay, so we have our postage stamp, and what I did is I took, goodness, my paper will not stay put today. I have another white panel that I'm going to attached to the front, and I have a piece of the copper clay plaid paper that I'm going to go ahead and put on there. I had fun with these. It's sometimes hard to come up with good man cards, and this suite is perfect for that. If you didn't know already, if you haven't seen my post or haven't seen it anywhere else, today only, Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping on all $75 orders here in the United States. If you're in Canada, I believe it's $100. And so you waive your shipping costs, which is an 11% savings. So if you like a good deal, this is the perfect opportunity to get free shipping, and you can use that 11% to get something else that's on your wish list. All right. That. I'm gonna go ahead and put the piece on the inside. I picked papers up off my stack. I'm not sure these were the right size, but we're gonna go with it. And I'll show you the prettier one when we're done. Okay, so once I have that, so there's the inside. Okay, and I've glued some of these on already because I didn't want you to have to wait to watch me, but we're going to put these on the front of our card, and I cut a 1.5 inch strip of another airplane piece that was from this paper that I thought I had out, but apparently not. Oh, here we go. Looks like this. The whole piece looks like this, and I just cut a 1.25 inch strip, and then on the back is a nice topographical map sort of thing. And I did use this on another card last night. I'm not going to do today, but I'm going to show you. Okay, so I have my pieces of airplane. They don't necessarily match. You can put those whichever direction that you want. I went ahead and I did, how many did I do? I did 4 of them, so that you could see. I gotta figure out how to get my airplanes in the right direction. This one is super crooked. Apparently I was not wearing my glasses when I put that one on. Let's see if we can get that to lay down nicely, put it where it belongs. If not, I have an extra piece that we can put on there. Sometimes like you do things and then you look at it later and think, what in the world? What did I do? Okay, got that one fixed. Then I am going to show you. I used the perennial postage, square postage, so it looks like a postage stamp, and we're just going to put paper on here. I'm going to use liquid glue, so if I need to wiggle it around, then I can catch that and do it right away. I cannot believe that this week is Memorial Day. We don't have big plans this year because our son has finals next week. So he's going to spend his weekend doing not fun things. So next weekend we can have some fun and pretend like it's Memorial Day. Okay, so then on each one I put 4 mini dimensionals on the back. Put that right in each corner. Do any of you watching have any exciting plans? It is the beginning of the summer travel season. That always makes me happy. And I'm looking forward to the end of school because sometimes it's just nice to let go of that schedule for a little bit. We will continue our Lunch with Lori classes on Tuesdays as long as we can, unless something crazy happens. Okay. I probably could have attached some of these so you don't have to watch me peel dimensional backs off. Sorry. But I couldn't lay them on there with all the dimensionals on there. Otherwise we'd be stuck. Ooh, strawberry picking. That sounds fun. A friend of ours went and picked strawberries. I'm still trying to figure this one out. She brought strawberry jam to several people at church on Sunday, and then, I'm not complaining, let me start with that. And I got a little bag of strawberries. I didn't get fully made jam. I think it was one of those do-it-yourself kind of things. So, actually, I'm going to start with the middle just because I think that's easier. And it has a straight line, so we can actually line that up. But yeah, she gave everybody else like homemade strawberry jam, and I got a bag of strawberries. I thought that was pretty funny. Maybe she thought I was capable. I'm not sure. All right, so we're just going to place these 6 postage stamps. We have the 5 that have the DSP on them. And then we have the one that's Happiest Father's Day. I'm just going to put that one down here in the corner. Those together. So say, I think I had that one upside down. All right. Then I went ahead and did this ahead of time, but I cut a little airplane from the stamp set, and I die cut that with the dies that matched. I'm going to put that right on the front and overlap. I may have to freeze the ones that she gave me because I'm not sure that I have time to do anything more exciting with them. But smoothies, we did that with blueberries a couple of years ago. I do love blueberries. Those are probably my favorite. I could eat my weight probably in blueberries. All right, so I'm just gonna put that plain on here right across the front. And then the other item that my club members got in their bag was a package of linen thread, and I do love linen thread. It's one of the most versatile embellishments that we have. I think it goes with, it can be fancy or it could be not fancy, but this is the end of my roll, so I had to be a little bit careful. So I just wrapped this linen thread around my fingers. Nothing super exciting. I have another small piece that I'm just going to tie around because you all know me and bows and how that works out. So if I just wad it up, then it doesn't look crazy. Or if it does look crazy, it doesn't matter because it doesn't look like I had to have it normal. Okay. Just gotta get the right piece to pull. And there we go. We have a nice little bowing. I'm going to trim it just a little bit so all the tails are sort of matching. And then we're going to attach that with a glue dot. And for glue dots, it's easiest if you don't touch it because otherwise it gets all over your fingers. But sometimes if you're not on your bow isn't very big, you might need to pull it off and kind of roll it between your fingers to make it smaller. I think I'm going to do that because that's pretty big. So just take it off and roll it. At one point, there was a discussion in my class that it was kind of like little boys do with boogers, but that's not a picture that I want to leave with you, so pretend that I didn't say that, but it's true. And then I'm just going to put that little linen bow right there. Happiest Father's Day. If you are not in need of a Father's Day card, the stamp set also has the stamp, You Always Lift Me Up, always fits in that spot as well. So, or if you have a different stamp that you'd like to use. Okay, so there is card 1. Then I'm gonna move on to, you know what? I was gonna save this one for last because it's the most hardest, I guess is the right word, of the ones we're gonna use. I have a boho blue card base, just a few more steps. Luckily, I have the paper all cut beforehand, so we're ready to roll. Okay, so we have the boho blue card base, and then I have a white panel for the inside of this one. And for this one, I'm going to stamp just some clouds across the inside with boho blue ink. If you don't have boho blue, it's one of the in colors from last year. Or you can use balmy blue, or you could use even Night of Navy. But I would suggest stamping off, just so. And then there's 3 sizes of clouds. I'm going to use one of each just so you can see what those look like. There we go. We have some clouds across the top of our border. If you're watching and have any questions about Stamp Club, or my card club, Kathy's watching today, and she could probably answer anything in an honest way, not too biased. It's not her projects, so I think she would be honest and tell you what she thinks of it if you need some reassurance. All right, I have the Cloud Designer Series paper, and on the back of that is a gray plaid, which is also a very nice neutral. And we're just going to put that onto the card front, and it is 4 by 5 1/4, so it just makes a nice panel. Okay, so we put our clouds on the front. This card, I forgot to tell you, was one of the samples shown at Onstage, Stampin' Up! Onstage in Houston with the annual conventions. So this is one of the projects that the designer showed, and I believe her name was Marissa Alvarez. And if I'm not correct on that, I will check that out and make sure. All right, I'm gonna put some more clouds on this white piece. We're gonna use that boho blue again. Stamp off so it's not too dark. And there's no rhyme or reason to this one because we're gonna cover part of it up. And then let's go ahead and put a couple of small ones. All right, so we have, there we go. All right, so this piece is going to go right here on the front. When I cut my Designer Series paper, I actually cut a 4 by 6 inch strip, and then this is the reverse side. So I'm going to attach this, so it's the same size. I'm gonna attach that on there. Let's use our liquid glue so we can squiggle it around if we need to. So I'm gonna put that across there, just a strip that goes across, and then we'll put our paper, our white stamped panel above that. Just like that. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside for just a second. The one thing that I need to do for this one is stamp my father. My goodness, there's a dump truck on my street and it is super loud. Sorry about that. All right, so in navy ink, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and for this one, I'm gonna put "You Always Lift Me Up." And again, I gotta be a little bit careful because it's low, and we're going to cut a V at the bottom. And one of my favorite things from the presentation was that the demonstrator called it chicken lips. I love that. So it's gonna look like chicken lips. And I find the easiest way to do that, well, actually, if you have a punt, ugh, that's crooked. I don't like that. Let's try this again. This is one reason I prefer photopolymer stamps, so that we can actually see what we're stamping. I have 3 of these little tags here. That is going to be close enough. Okay, so to make chicken lips. No, I don't like it. Have you ever done that? Okay, here we go. We're gonna try this one more time. Wish me luck. Big luck. I'm a hot mess today. I think it's because my stamp. Let me see. All right, here we go. All right, we got that one. Okay, now for the chicken lips. Sorry about that. All right, so the easiest way I find is to find the center or as close as you can and make a little snip. And then go from this corner, snip all the way to that piece, and then come from the other corner and cut to that same spot. Now, we're gonna do the same thing with the copper clay, but since we know already we want our chicken lips to match, I'm just going to cut from this corner, put it right underneath that gray piece. Try not to move it. There's someone walking through my yard. Like a young lady. I'm not sure what in the world. She's wandering in my front yard. If you don't know my house, we live on a busy street and there's no sidewalk on our side, but there's a young lady walking right in front of my window. So I assume she saw me. Hopefully she doesn't ring the doorbell. That was very strange. I always get weird things when I do my videos. Okay, back to our project. Holy cow. Okay, so we're gonna attach these just a little off kilter, little cattywampus, as I like to say. I'm gonna keep that corner together, just enough to have some copper clay down at the bottom. And then I'm gonna go ahead and attach that to the card front. Put it right about there. So that's ready. Now, I went ahead and I stamped and I die cut an airplane. And he's gonna go right here. But I'm gonna show you how I did that. And I thought, I thought I had white scrap. Hold on just a second. Of course, all the pieces I was trying to pull out were vanilla. All right, because I'm gonna show you how I colored this one. We're gonna stamp it in Memento ink, with just black ink. Okay, so we have our airplane. And we can do one of two things. The first one I colored with an ink pad and a blender pen. I'm gonna try something different this time. I'm gonna use an aqua painter, just the water painter. The one thing is I'm gonna have to be careful not to get too much water on it because we don't want it to be super wet, but we're gonna use the one that I already used, so it doesn't fully matter. We're gonna color our plane smoky slate. Let's see how this works out for us. I have some of the ink in the lid. If you've been around for a while, you may have seen this before. You take your ink pad and you squish it down. Unfortunately, our ink pads are a little more sturdy than they used to be, so there's not as much that gets out, which is okay. We don't need a whole lot. The copper clay, I actually put a drop of ink refill, but let me see if I just squeeze it right in the middle so that the middle goes down. Oh, I did get some. So we're going to take our water painter, and I already put water in it, and we're gonna squeeze it just a little bit so that the water goes down, and you can kind of see it flowing through the middle. And then we're gonna take it, we're just gonna mix it right in. I need some more water. Here we go. We'll just have to be careful because it is wetter. And we're just going to paint our airplane. And you can come back in and add more color. Get as colorful copper clay as you want. We don't want it to be a solid color. You could use blends, I think, but we want it to look a little bit old-fashioned watercolory, not watery. All right, then, now we have copper clay ink on here. We don't, we can use that again. We just want to take it and wipe it on our scrap paper like this until our copper clay color goes away. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others. You might need to squish out a smidgen more water. I think we're probably good. Put that aside. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the smoky slate. And so you can see that my copper clay is not going on there. So we're just going to do the same thing and we're going to paint those wings. Just all the way down. Unfortunately, the gray did not squeeze as much into the lid. It's really hard. There's a little more. Our color is not as bright for this one. Here we go. So we're going to color it. Color our wings. I had to ask last night. I knew it was the body of the plane. I didn't know the term for this is called fuselage, in case you want to know some airplane terms. All right, so you just color it like a little watercolor. Color the front, this wing. Again, you don't want to put too much water because you want it to be able to dry. And I'm kind of doing this in a hurry so that you don't have to watch me for 2 days. But, all right. So there's the basic idea. I watercolored it with the aqua painter. I am going to just put a little bit of gray right in the propellers so you can see some motion. And it's a softer look than the blender pen. And you can choose whichever one that you like better. And I already die cut this one, so we're gonna go ahead and use this one. If you do use the water painter, sit it aside, let it dry for a few minutes so that you make sure that you get it plenty dry, because you don't want to get wet all over your projects. Okay, so then we're gonna come back over here with our airplane. We're gonna put dimensionals on that. We used a lot of dimensionals this month. All these things are popped up. I'm going to use the bigger ones. Okay, we'll put our dimensionals on. This one was an edge piece. There it goes. Caused me a little bit of grief. Right. So I'm gonna put my airplanes right. Oh, I almost lined up those clouds almost perfectly. That's so crazy. That was an accident. Nothing ever happens perfectly. All right, the other part of the suite, of the Adventurous Sky suite, is the industrial trinkets. And if you haven't seen these, they were actually gone. They were unavailable for a little bit, but they are really cute. They have a fancy pattern on one side. Let's see if you can see that. Little lines. And then on the other side, it looks more like a rivet that you would see on an airplane. I'm going to use it rivet side up because it is harder to get a glue dot to stick on this piece to have the fancy side show. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So we're gonna put our glue dot on the bottom piece. Except I lost my roll of glue dots. Oh, they're right in front of me. You ever have that happen? Right here in the mess. Okay. So we're gonna put I typically try to shy away from embellishments that don't say adhesive backed. Adhesive backed embellishments are my favorite. If they're not adhesive backed, I think they're harder to use, but I think this one is actually worth it. I think I should have done the pull it off with my finger method. It's sticking, which is good, right? We're just gonna put that right in the corner of our little banner. But the other little touch is 2 6-inch pieces of linen thread. And we're just gonna wrap that around our embellishment. It's not gonna actually be under it, but it'll kind of look like it's wrapped through it. And we're gonna use a couple more glue dots, this time with my finger, so that we can keep our thread in place. I'm gonna put a glue dot behind the loop. Put that there. And then a couple more, one behind each knot probably. I just did 2 6-inch pieces of linen thread, and then I just put a knot on each end so that they would stay together. And then you can get your linen thread to stay where you want it. Oop. You have to get your finger on the right side with the glue dot. And there's no rhyme or reason or right answer on where to put your knot. You could put 5 knots in it if you wanted to make it a little fancier. I just did 2. And there you have it. Oop, let's get that out of the way. There we go. All right. Card number 2. All right, the third one. I added in an extra thing to use with our stamp set because I thought it went perfectly. We are going to use the So Swirly embossing folder. It's one of the, So Swirly, new embossing folders, and it is awesome. Groovy was the word I heard last night. Let me put it over this piece of navy cardstock so you can actually see what it looks like. It looks like ice cream swirls. It looks like waves in the ocean. It looks like sky, like what I think of when I think of the wind. But take a look at how big this folder is. Our former embossing folders were literally about half this big. This piece is bigger than an 8.5 by 5.5 piece. Your whole half piece of cardstock would fit in there. So that's great for bigger projects. It's great if you wanted to put an accent section on your scrapbook pages, or if you wanted to do 2 smaller pieces at one time. Perfect. So these is the So Swirly, and it's just a bigger, great embossing folder. All right, so we have our Night of Navy card base. I did not put away my water painter. I need to get that out of the way. We're not painting on this one. All right, another new thing that my ladies got in their projects was silver foil. Our gold foil has been around for a long time. We used to have silver foil, and it went away for a while, but it's back. It's a little dull. It's not quite as shiny foil as our gold foil. And last night I heard rave reviews on the color of it. So I have the silver foil, and I have cut the fuselage out of Night of Navy, and the extra set of wings, I die cut those. We're gonna piece those together, and there are even cute little propellers. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll put the navy piece onto my silver. It's gonna be our front panel. I think so too, Kathy. I think probably they were looking at adding some scrapbooking things, and that was a great way to do that, because I can't imagine our machine. It's as big as our machine will do, 6 inches across. But I can't imagine if we could die cut or emboss a whole piece of cardstock. I think that'd be super fun. Although I guess you could put it in and then flip it over and do it on the other end. I think that would work if you had something in the middle. All right, so we have our navy panel on our silver foil. If I was doing this right now without having this pre-cut, I would have die cut the wings and the propeller from the silver foil, and then I would have cut the navy plain body, the fuselage, out of this panel. It just saves extra paper. You don't have to worry about wasting any paper that way. All right, so to get our our wavy background. I'm gonna take the boho blue ink with a blender brush. I'm gonna brush that. I'm just gonna very lightly go over the pieces of the cardstock that are up. And we discussed this last night, and I don't know if there is a real right answer, which side is the correct side. So I'm just gonna go with this one because this is the one that happened to be up. I'm moving my table, I apologize for that. So you'll, hope you're not dizzy or sick, or doesn't have to be a whole lot. You can put as much color in your sky as you wish. You're gonna cover up part of it with clouds and an airplane anyway. All right, put the boho blue away. Now we have several die cut clouds. The clouds are also in the stamp set, and the dies, they're in the bundle. We're going to just say flying by to say hi. So I'm gonna stamp that on one of my big clouds. For a second, I couldn't remember what it was called. Now, when you go to piece together your airplane, I learned this the hard way, so I am telling you what I learned on my own. The first time I did it, I put glue on all the sides, and then you put it together, and I realized, oh, the top of it doesn't get attached to anything. So, advice for today, just put, and I would use liquid glue just because that's easier, but if you don't have any liquid glue, honestly, you could very easily use, if you have some Elmer's glue, just good old white school glue out of your kids' school stuff, put it on a sponge and just gently tap that on the back of that, on the back of the die cut, and you should be fine. That's a great way to use a little bit of glue without getting too messy, because goodness knows we all get messy, and I didn't put enough on the tail feathers. All right, so we have our plane, and then I'm going to do a tiny little glue dot of glue, not a glue dot, on my propeller. I love the details of this bundle. We have our propeller, and he's ready to go on the card after we get it all put together. He's the last piece. I love the look of the old-fashioned plane. I think it's fun. All right, we have our wavy sky, and then we're just going to start putting our clouds on there. Start with my big one, and I did put these flat. I don't know that there's a problem with that. I think the embossing folder is flat enough that it'll be okay to put those flat. Let's see. So it's gonna look like our plane is up in the sky. And I counted this as an embellishment sort of thing, so I did 5 just because of the odd number rule. You can put however many you want. If you want your whole sky to be clouds, I think that is perfect. And there, a little spot on my cloud, so I think we can cover him up. There we go. All right, so, but for my airplane, I'm actually going to put dimensionals behind it. So that it is the star of the show. You can make your planes any color you want. I think it'd be fun if you had a Southwest pilot friend. I think that'd be fun to make it in Southwest colors, or American Airlines or Alaska, whatever airline is your thing. Okay, so there is card number 3. Oh, we are out of control here with our papers. We have a hello card. I have a Father's Day card. And we have a You Always Lift Me Up card. And then let me show you really quick. We're not going to make this one because it's a little bit complicated. But we also made an easel card. And this one I got from May Card-cierge. And I thought it was amazing, so I copied it exactly. It starts like a bookbinding fold, if you've done the bookbinding fold. And then there's an extra fold that the card opens up, and this cloud is popped up just a little bit, and it holds the easel. So our card actually sits up. You can see it's like a little tent, sits up, and you can display it. And that could be done with a flower. It could probably be done with the airplane. So you could do that however you want. So that was our final project for club last night. I thank you for watching today. Like I said, there are 2 big things. Card club for next month will be the Seaside Wishes bundle. If you're interested, I will include the sign up for that. But these are the type of projects that we do. You'll have 6 for sure projects, possibly 8, depending on the level of difficulty and how long those will take. And last night we had 7. So anywhere from 6 to 8 projects, depending on what they are, along with things to go with that, whether it's designer series paper or I've given blending brushes, we've used water painters. It just depends on the bundle. I haven't decided for sure what we're going to use next month. But I do hope that you'll join us. If you already have the bundle, that is perfect. We always offer a bundle add-on with no tax or shipping. So if you're a member of Card Club, you get that as an added perk. And you can try it out. You don't have to have a commitment. It's a once. You can sign up for once, see how you like it. If you like it, you stay on. And if you don't, you can make us all sad and leave club. But you can also, if you stay for 6 months, you'll get a product bonus at the end of that 6 months. So it's definitely worth the package. If you're not local to me, I do ship those out the week that we have our in-person club. And then the other thing that I was going to tell you about that's super important is that today is free shipping. So if you place a $75 or more order on my website, you will get free shipping on that. If you place a $50 order, I will send you, actually $35 order, I will send you the card kits, and you'll have to stamp it yourself. So if you don't have the bundle, you definitely want to add this to your wish list. If you spend $50, I will send you an embellishment, a brand new embellishment as well. So anyway, I hope that you all have a great Memorial Day weekend, and I will see you all back here next Tuesday on the 28th at 11:30. Have a great weekend. Thanks.